Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another quick view, another tire. What do we love? Tires. Can we get enough? No. This is technically a rear view because I do not believe that this particular permutation of letters and numbers, this particular this rubber cylinder and the name and the configuration of that rubber cylinder, you can't buy it anymore. I don't think you can. Maybe you can. I don't know if you can. This is the Team Ottsix Racing Voodoo KLR V1. So yeah, the old-timey font. What's the difference between the V1 and the V2, you ask? The V2 is 40 millimeters wide, and the V1, this one, is 45 millimeters wide. So we're much more in the range of, like, when you put this up against, like, a deep woods or a canyon trail. See? So comp nowadays, as of late, has come to, for whatever reason, mean make them as skinny as possible. Get me a tire... pin seek me, get me a tire down to like 35 millimeters wide. In some cases it works. In some cases it infuriates me. So we are going to mount these up as we ordinarily would on a 24 millimeter ring Clone 105 from Amazon, and we are going to mount them in a front pair and a rear pair. The front pair being fitted with Canyon Customs softs, which are these gentlemen right here, 2 wraps of fridge foam around a Tim Tin inner, and the rears are a Canyon medium, which is a single 3-inch medium hair bun around a Tim Tin inner. They look like they don't work. They feel like they don't work. Boy, howdy do they work. And they are the Swiss Army knife of inserts, because if the inner can fit in the tire, they'll work. Doesn't matter what your rig weighs. There's a lot of variables that just don't matter. Is it the absolute performance optimized best thing that you can do? Unbelievable. Shatter the wheel. No. But what it is it's an insert. If you have 2 of these and 2 of the other, or 4 of these laying around, it pretty much doesn't matter what you bring home. If you have a class 2 set of tires, 465, 475, 480, in that range, in the mid 40s width, mid to upper 40s width, these will work. I can take this insert out of here, put it in deep woods, put it in a canyon trail, put it in a Tusk, put it in a Baja Pro X, put it in a Hyrax, whatever. They just work. And, you know, affordable and reusable and waterproof. I don't sell them. I don't make any money if you decide to build them yourself. It's getting sort of hard to obtain the fridge foam that I like. I like the one where there's a little veggie mat hugging like a piece of fruit, because, you know, I like the absurdity of it. These did not require juice, and as a matter of fact, if we can get this one to mount without popping the front bead, we will have done something, because I popped the beads on every one that I put together. I put juice on the first one, and then I was like, oh, you know what? It felt like it kind of went together a little too easy, so maybe we should not juice. So I didn't put juice on the second one, and got 2 screws in, flipped it over, and the whole front bead was out. So I was like, okay. We can't do crisscross on tires with angry beads. These are very, very similar to the TrailSpec. Now, the TrailSpec has a different sidewall, so different, like, font and different stuff on the sidewall. My guess is, though, that the new TrailSpec are basically this carcass mold, so we're getting this width and this lug, but they changed the compounds. This is, as I said, the Comp Spec V1, so it should be in red. It smells like red. It has a very pink erasers. Smells a lot like pink erasers. These were not new. They came in packed in a box. I don't know if the intention by the sender was for me to test them, or the intention of the sender was we don't use these anymore and we want to fill the box out with them. I don't know if the intention was there were some, they came along with some 3D inserts that came in from across the pond. I don't know if the direct intention was to test them on the 3D printed inserts. If that is the case, we'll do that in the future. But first test, if we're going to quick view, or in this situation, in this it's more like a rear view, because I don't think you can get them. They, as I mentioned, they are used. We have just that slight amount of feather. This is kind of a tire in the prime of its life. That's pretty much the best amount. You want that little bit of feathering on the front edge. These should do as well as they can do, and that's what we're hoping for. Tire, I run a singular solitary set of Ottsix tires in the entire fleet. A gentleman named Blackjack is running the TrailSpec Team Ottsix Voodoo KLR TrailSpecs in yellow, with the Halo air down carcass running the Halo air downs, the like ultra soft in the front and the soft in the rear. And they work. They work. They're not earth beaters. They're not like the best tire you've ever seen. They look really good on that rig. And it's just the investment. It's what it costs. I would call that 116. So a little short. More, honestly, close to a 455, which is generally good on a portal. So now, I mean, before I wanted them to work just because I like things to be good. It gives us more options. But dead 50. Dead 50. So mounted on these is a dead 50. I want things to be good. But I like a 4.55 on a portal. So I have more than one rig in my mind right now that could easily swap out what they're running for a 455. But you get it, right? Everything went comp. Gotta go comp. So a tire that mounts to 50, oh, we can't have that in a comp. We gotta have the skinniest tires that we can get. I still don't get it. Part of it I still don't get. I don't mind a 50 millimeter wide tire, and I think part of that is because at some base level I'm a Canyon Trail guy, and Canyon Trails are big chunky tires. How come nobody's cutting and shutting a Canyon Trail, like making some skinny, cutting and shut a 1.9 Canyon Trail and make a 2.2 LP Canyon Trail out of it? Where's that? They're like, no, we're only going to cut up expensive tires. I haven't cut it and shut a tire in 20 years. I don't plan on doing it now. Because, primarily, I don't mind a tire that's 50 millimeters wide. I'm absolutely fine with it. Baseline, as usual. I gotta loosen them up. Baseline, as usual, making everything look good. Those look great. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for the KLR, despite the fact that it is, in terms of, so you've got scale tires, and over time all the scale tires start to look alike. If you put a Vanquish, Yokohama, Geolander, and a Mickey Thompson Baja Boss, and a Falcon Wild Peak, and grab another couple scale tires, put them all stacked up in a row like this, and then walk back about 10 feet. It's all the same tire. It's just the same tire. Now, in the tires that don't exist in the real world, it happens too. It happens too. I had them in my hands moments ago. Right? It's variations on a theme. It's not like any of them are explicitly different. We might have one lug, like these lug points aim forward, but these lug points, the ears go back, whereas these aim forward. This tire's actually backwards. There it goes. So these aim forward just like those, but these aim kind of back. So actually, in familial appearance, this is like a brother and this is like a cousin. But like even in terms of look at the amount of void versus the amount of space that's lug. They're all really close. And that's what happens. Like the thing that works, works. So we're just going to keep remaking the thing that works over and over again. So we hope, because I would love a nice 455 tire to run on a portal rig. I have it in mind right now. I know what rig I want to put them on. Actually, they'd have to fight for it. I have 2 rigs right on top of my head that I want to run them on. So please, KLR, red, and I'm pretty sure these are real. The previous set of KLRs that were this style of KLR were the skinny ones, the V2s, but I think they were probably the clones. They didn't wow me. So that made me think, maybe they're not the real thing. I'm fairly confident that these are the real thing. Isn't it weird that we have to, like, that the counterfeiting on some of them is so good? You can buy fake ruptures right now that look, if you set it next to a real one, they are indistinguishable. Now, the compound is way better on the real one, but we're going to hope that that is not what we're encountering today. These are real Team Ottsix Voodoo KLR TrailSpec V1s in red compound, and they're going to do great, right? Right. What are we doing? Gaslighting ourselves. If we put it into the universe that they'll be great, they have no choice but to be great. I'm sorry, buddy. It's not your fault. But as always, the rocks will decide, and we're going to let them do that right about now. So let us begin this. I have been curious about this one for some time, as I'm not crazy about the super skinny KLRs. Not the KLR-M, not the KLRM, not the fake KLR-M. I like this pattern on the KLR, but not the really skinny V2 one. Can we get the cloners at work on the V1? Well, I say that before we tip into a rock. Little hesitation there. Don't do this to me. Okay, all right. We've got there's a few moments, okay, when you first mount up a tire. So these have been driven from the shop to the course, and that's it. No matter what insert is inside the tire, they gotta get to know each other. The insert is gonna settle itself into the tire. And unfortunately for a lot of tires, that's why we never just make one pass at Slick Rock. Sometimes that tire and insert haven't gotten to have their little opening conversation yet. And you get what we have here, which is not the way we want it. I've got to work on an evaluation here because the rising sun, or as we call it, for about 4 months of the year, the malevolent heat orb, it is here to get it hot. I've been out here tinkering about. We've been recording, we've been moving stuff around. We're doing the things. The temperature has risen 9 degrees in 40 minutes. Those are freedom units of measure. I don't know what that is. Would that be 5 degrees in Celsius, plus or minus 32? I don't know how it works. My brain doesn't do it. It's too late. It's too late. I can't use pull the trigger to activate reverse. So no real car mode for me. And I can't think in Celsius. I think in Fahrenheit. I mean, and I'll come right out and say it in the spirit of full disclosures. It's not doing nearly as well as I wanted it to. Now, it might be a tire that needs much softer of an insert. Sure, that's entirely a possibility. But this is also how quick views are run, and rear views and reduxes and all of them. They get what they get, and in turn, we get what we get. Pure forward drive is not always an indicator of overall performance. That's why we don't just test in one. Yeah, see. The number of forward drive that I would give on forward drive for that performance over at Slick Rock is not nearly the same number as we're getting over here. Got shot up. How's that going to position back? That's what I'm... Oh. Proper. Over here on the pull-up. Yeah, I like the... There's a real maneuverability, and that's brought about by chevron tread, right? If your tread is kind of pointing towards the center line, you can get a lot of maneuverability out of it when you give those little, you give the little tire twitches, you give the little, hey, a little bit this, a little bit this way. The attitude of the rig doesn't really change. It just keeps going in a straight line, but you're finding those bite spots, and some tires they can't. These tires they can. It's going to be the other stuff. It's going to be the other stuff that is the determinant. That was really good right there. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Strong. So when we write the number on our little dry erase board for Slick Rock, there's an asterisk next to it. Because I don't think we're maximized. Already, I'm going to say, maybe not the outright most, but definitely in the conversation of least positive looking at Slick Rock. Oh, that was the Canyon Custom, soft or medium, is a side hill and insert. It is kind of optimized for this kind of stuff. That front end stayed rigid down, like there were magnets. We can do the one-hander on the way back. Look at this right here. And you might be saying, well, that's not a lot. So we've got passenger rear way up above. Passenger rear and driver front are basically on the same plane. So we're almost fully crossed up. We don't have a ton of suspension travel on a C channel like this. We see the front pumpkin is about to auger into that rock right there. So we are teetering. It's 100% cross weight right now. We're using nothing but cross weight. Where's all the load, you ask? Like in that configuration right there? 60% of the load is probably being transferred to driver front tire, the high tire in the front. And that's what's keeping us stable. But the ability to transfer that weight is brought to us by the insert and the tire, because the rear is not collapsing or trying to skid out from under itself. So we just glided the pumpkin across the top, and then we come down. Yeah. Again, this KLR, my first experience with this type of KLR, falls, I think, into that category of what I call a driver's tire. It's not choosy. It doesn't make you go where it wants to go. Oh, so very nearly. Yeah. At baseline's weight, we would need a little bit softer rear insert than a medium. If that was a soft rear insert, if we were running the same insert all the way around, I think it pulls over that. But that rear insert is going to help us in situations like this where it gets all unfriendly. That was a two-wheeler there for a minute. Yeah, this is going well. That's pretty much precisely the spot I thought we were going to end up at. It needs just a bit more compliance in the rear insert. Yep. Little bit of extra throttle right up. Yeah. And they pull real straight. You know what I've not done? Remembered what pocket I put the pen in. All right. I can remember up to 4 numbers. And there we go. Because we'll do 442.
We'll do 442 on the numbers. That way I can remember. I just drove over a gopher hole on the way here with a gopher sticking out of it. He probably got quite the frighten. The takeaways so far are that I'm impressed by the responsiveness of it. Being able to visibly and palpably tell that the rear insert is too heavy. It's too firm for this tire. But they do the thing. They absolutely do like right there, if the insert was too hard, we don't make that pull right there. Let's see. And they've got that big chevron. So we do a couple little cutbacks. We'll swing around, we'll get the little pirouette in there. Yeah, you can use a lot of the tread. Yeah, that's nice. That's just nice. Ejected ourselves back to the start there. Very, very much a driver's tire. It is going to go where you point it. And for me, that is unassignable many bonus points. Let's see how tight the cut is right here. Real tight. Is that gonna wash out on us at all? No. No, it is not. Oh man. Little brush there. Wow. That was the wow of the KLR. Oh, once again, is it or is it not a shame that we can't get these anymore? It is. It 100% is. Why do they gotta take all the good things away? I think the answer is comp. Oh, comp, bro. It's gotta be more comp. Get your tires so skinny that they look like half of a bagel. Get your tires down to like 17 millimeters wide. That'll be more comp. It'll get you through the comp gates, more comp. This tire is better. This is the best KLR tire. This is the best Ottsix tire I've tested by a mile. And it's the one that you can't buy anymore because you got to get the V2 that is not even 2/3 the width of this. Okay, we got poked out right. Do we have enough to pull it back? Nope. Well, I think self-righting is going to bode well for us. Yeah, it's so predictable. If you can get your rig into the spot, you can make the pull. That's an odd cut right there. There are allowances. There are allowances being made here, and the allowances are not for the rig or the tire. They are for me because of the rising sun. I'm sitting over here, so I can't quite see. I can't quite see the spot on this side that I want to hit. Right in there. I can't quite see the spot. It's gonna bump great. Oh my goodness. That was the most forward drive it has exhibited. So look at this. Bump. A little bump. Oh yeah, it requires the little, you gotta like double taps. Big ones. Get it. It's not bad at all. It is not bad at all. When you see a bump and the rig flies over and lands on the dead limit sign, that's generally not good. But this, we've gotten up to where there's enough drive inherent in the combo that we can you just kind of double tap. Yeah, right there. Did I not get enough of it? I did not get enough of it. Sidewall stability, man, all day. There we go. They got that shape. This is a KLR canyon trail. The more I look at it from a distance, and canyon trails are some of the best at this sort of shenanigans. Look how far over we can get onto that sidewall. Come on, fall. Fall. Even getting mired in that dead grass. that's the spot. Okay, the forward throttle self-right is not quite as good as that. That's real good. That turning circle though. That's a 30-incher right there. So I know that I am. I don't know if we are collectively as a group, but we hold our breaths for wet, because wet performance is often the determiner between one of the greats or that is also a tire that exists. And I say that as a denizen of the desert who drives in the wet virtually only by manufacture. When I'm driving on wet rock, it's because a hose made that rock wet. As we sit here now, as of the time of this recording, I don't think it has rained in 3 months. I don't think we've gotten rain in 90 days. We won't get rain for another, could be 60 days. And yeah, it'll go 5 months without rain in here. It's not uncommon, it's the desert. We might get a trick from last year where we get a freak rainstorm in July. It was weird, it was really, oh, that was the hurricane. Yeah, when we got Hurricane Hillary. These are responsive to the point of you have to control your motions. Well, you got to control your emotions. You have to control your motions on the wheel a little more. A quick servo, like this is in a medium acceptable range. I want to say like 0.11 for speed. If you're looking at one of those like 0.09, 0.07 servos, these are going to be a problem, because the ability to twitch it and with how hard they grab, like look at the directionality on these. This is just the front tires doing the work up there. These will shoot. That is as dry as a pile of bones right there. I think these would do reasonably well wet-wise. They particularly this set, and any set you find is going to be either NOS or used. They don't have monoblock lugs, so they don't have all the same lug shape nor the same lug height, so that will help them clear out a little better. Some tires just deal with mud better. I don't think this is going to be one of the top pinnacle tires in terms of mud handling, but they make a KLR M, so if you want a mud tire, it's probably that one. This, I think, though, in mixed will do really well. And again, comp, that word floating in the air, is ruining it for the rest of us. So while we started off shaky here at Slick Rock, we definitely improved as we went along. Yeah, still, I guess it just needs just that much softer in the rear insert to be able to pull up over the beam right here. Just kind of bounces again. Okay. This is definitely better. I couldn't pre-tabulate. I usually pre-tabulate the score, and then we just have to factor one in, and I can generally add those numbers together. But I couldn't pre-tabulate because I didn't trust the score that it got on Slick Rock dry. Now we go Slick Rock wet. Little fallback. Ooh, is this a clean rock issue? Is it gonna actually be better? Yeah, it kinda is. Kinda is. Kinda a little better. Kind of a little better. All right. That's just getting the blocks moistened, so we'll want a little bit down. Yeah, them rocks is thirsty. It's been very warm. Yep, even a little better still. Yep. Oh, no, this is not a point of contention at this point, is it? That's better wet. We can get into a little notch, pop out. It's better. It's better. And not, I don't think, like, it's not, oh, the maneuverability on this tire is dummy. It's not better like the way the VXT2 does wet better. So we sit down and we do our arithmetic when we come out as we're coming out the other side. And this tire was not grotesquely consistent, but well and truly quite very consistent. We have a differential of 0.4 between the lowest score and the highest score. And I would be remiss if I did not point out that it scored 1/10 of a point higher on Slick Rock Wet than it did on Slick Rock Dry, giving it an aggregate score. We just missed it. We just missed KLOS 95.5. Rockin' Southern California. We got 95.6. And take into account, please do, if you will, I think the rear insert is too firm. I think the rear insert helped the side hill score for sure. It had a really good side hill score because the directionality of these tires, the chevroning, it pulls you towards the middle. So you're not going to squirt around and skate around. It is a driver's tire. It is it's not a scale tire, but it is, right? Like it looks like a tire. It doesn't look, it's not a pin or a bar. It doesn't look wild. That is, yeah, right. It's right there. It's right there with a S1 Canyon Trail, with a number of tires right in that mid 95. And honestly, with some 3D printed inserts in these, I could see a point, 1.2. I could see these mid to high 96s on a on a better suited insert to the vehicle. Now, perhaps if baseline was, say, 1.5 pounds heavier, these might sing the song. But we run what we run, and everything, asterisk, runs soft fronts and medium rears, sometimes soft all the way around if we can tell that the carcass is particularly thick. These do not have a particularly thick carcass. I don't know why I would feel I need to justify or apologize for a 95.6. That is somewhere in the middle, and I think that, yeah, this tire is somewhere in the middle. I think it's an all-rounder, and again, what a shame. The V2, in my experience with it, is not better in any way at all, period, end of story. This is a better tire, and we get comped in the worst kind of a way. Not comped in the sense of they gave us something for free. Comped in the sense that Comp took something away from us for free. I would buy these. I would recommend that people buy these, but guess what? I can't, and neither can you. If they're available somewhere, it's news to me. These did what they are, and as I remember, as I said in the intro, they are feathered in a little. That tire takes time to break in. Every tire breaks in. If it's good with a brand new, fresh out of the bag lug, it's going to get better right until the point where it starts to fall off. The traction of every tire is a bell curve. You want the curve to be, the flatter the curve, the better. We don't want a huge arc of a curve where you've got to wear. Oh, you just got to drive them a pack a day for a month and they're great. No. I don't want to. Like, we've seen, it's been clearly established that you can make a tire work out of the bag. And these have some wear on them. I don't know how long it took to get that wear. That's why this is a rear view. To my knowledge, you can't buy these tires anymore. And I just like to introduce to you things that, something you might not know, and then you go, man, that's great. I wish I could have that. Well, you can't. You can't have Panther Cougars. You can't have these. There's you can't have the old Flatiron XLs, which are better. I mean, the old Flatirons, non-XL, which are better than the new Flatirons. Old G8 is not the same as G8 now. We can't have any of the great things because bottom lines, I guess, I don't know. But before we spiral out of control, we'll be happy with a 95.6. And when they're mounted on the vehicle that they are, I'm thinking, destined for, with some nice 3D printed inserts in them, we'll be hoping for that high 96s, So if you have some KLRs, the old ones, the fat ones,
let me know in the comments. Tell me what has been your experience with these. And we will see you in the next one, right sometime after we thank you for being here to join us for this one. We hope that in between now and when we inevitably meet again, you do, one and all, your very best to have a good one, everybody. We will see you next time here from the Canyon. And when we say it, we mean it. And when we mean it, we say it. We do indeed wish you were here. We'll see you in the next one, everybody.